So Sphere Finance just had an AMA. If you missed it like I did, we have our boy Kato on Twitter who made an amazing summary. We're going to go through it. We're going to talk about what's happening to Sphere Finance. If I'm not bullish before, well, I'm definitely a lot more bullish now. So stay tuned and enjoy the video. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Eric here and welcome back to the channel. Yes, we're talking about Sphere again. They had an AMA today. I was working, so I couldn't actually make it, but we have Kato on Twitter who made an amazing summary. I want to go through it, quickly give you guys all of the points that he breaks down. And before we get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, you guys need to come on over to the Discord, join the selected ones. We are always active on here. I'm trying to stay up to date on this, but we have a lot of communication, and working a 7 to 3 is just not great, and I'm grinding to stay up to date. But definitely, if you are new to the channel, join this. But now let's go ahead and talk about Sphere Finance. Absolutely crazy AMA from what I've been reading on Twitter. We see the price kind of reacted, went all the way to 9.3 and then went back down to 8.5. But if we just zoom out on this chart, we have literally been in this same range ever since the last part of July. So to me, the price right now isn't that big of an issue. I'm more excited to see what they're building and what else are they bringing on to this ecosystem. Now let's go and dive into this thread by Kato. I will leave it in a description link down below, so definitely go follow him on Twitter. He makes an amazing job at summarizing everything you need to know. But if we quickly take a look at what's happening and what was said in that AMA, obviously we talked about this yesterday. I was completely lost when I made my video, unfortunately. These percentages are actually the percentage of their treasury in holdings. So that means that this Sphere Balancer Matic X stable pool, they have about 20% of their treasury invested in this, not actually making 27% APY. So my mistake on that. But as we know, this dashboard is coming. What we need to know from this is that they're making about $120,000 on a monthly basis, and this only accounts for about 70% of their treasury. So Sphere is definitely using their treasury in order to make some money. Now this also doesn't account anything from Penrose and Dystopia, and that's actually pretty crazy, because if we do take that into account, that means that they're making about $150,000 on a monthly basis, or 1.8 annually. Absolutely crazy stuff. I mean, can I join the team? Can I just be a part of a paid employee? I wish so, but it's just not the case. Instead, I'm just going to invest in Sphere, not financial advice. Then if we talk about cross-chain yields, because if we go back to this picture, we have basically everything invested on Polygon. But what Kato is saying here and what was said in that AMA is that they are going to be expanding their farming onto other chains such as AVAX to keep yields high. So they're kind of going cross-chain to invest. That's awesome. Diversification is what we want. Then if we move on to Dyson Farm, this is the first time I hear about this, but I definitely want to get my hands on this. This is basically the latest addition to the Sphere ecosystem. He says the Dyson Farm is a cross-chain yield auto compounder, and that this protocol will automatically sell the rewards you get from yield strategies and compound it back into your original LP. So for instance, if you're providing liquidity on Dystopia or on Penrose, all of these profits that are basically happening here, this Dyson Farm would theoretically grab those profits, sell a portion of it, and then actually use that portion that it sold off and invest it back into the liquidity pool that you're providing liquidity to. So that's exactly the scenario he gives us here. He says, let's say you're providing a USDC to DAI on QuickSwap, you're going to be receiving quick rewards, and basically that farm is going to sell some of those rewards and automatically convert it back into that LP. So again, I'm not entirely sure when this is going going to come out, but as soon as it does, you best believe I'm going to be hopping on the train and going to Toronto. That's the first city that came to mind because, yeah, you know, I'm Canadian, got to go to Toronto. But then if we talk about Carl Bot, this is basically the burn bot that we know, and Dyson Farm is actually going to talk to Carl and basically have a small percentage of a performance fee that is going to be sent to the Carl bot for the burn and buyback of Sphere tokens. So let's just say it's 1 or 2% of the rewards you would get that would go into this performance fee and then basically sent to this bot, which is going to buy back Sphere and burn it, which is just awesome for the ecosystem. Then if we move on and we talk about Bennie the bot, this was another bot that was turned on. It has been turned off as the team is optimizing more logic to this bot, but so far in the 3 days that it was running, it spent about $20,000 for the buyback and burn of Sphere, which was about 2 million Sphere tokens. Now, if we talk about Galaxy Marketplace, this is going to come out relatively soon. They say it's basically ready to go. They're just waiting for the appropriate time to actually launch it. This is going to allow users to buy Sphere at a reduced tax rate. If we remember Galaxy Marketplace, this is also going to allow whales to sell out of their position at a reduced tax rate as well. So both parties are going to be happy with this because everybody is saving money, and there's actually about 20% that will be routed to Fred. As we know, Fred is our bot that's going to be continuing to buy more Sphere and then burn it as well. Then they do say the remaining 80% will be converted into USD Plus. That's overnight finance, basically a yield bearing fully backed version of USDC, pegged 1-to-1 to it and 100% collateralized. So that's awesome. I can't wait for Galaxy Marketplace. Who knows, maybe I'm going to even buy more Sphere tokens. But now if we move on to the Sphere games, this is quite interesting. Basically, your rewards on a weekly basis are going to be distributed more evenly around all of the community, meaning that your top 10 winners or your 10 winners are not going to get as much Sphere, and everyone is actually going to be receiving Sphere, and you're going to be able to claim that on the Sphere Finance website. I'm not too sure if it's a daily, a weekly basis yet, but you're basically going to be receiving a bit of Sphere. Now, obviously, because everybody's receiving a bit more Sphere, the winners are going to get less money, but now obviously everybody's going to be happy. Now, if we talk about a partnership, they are partnering with 100 Days Venture. I'm not too familiar with this one here, but they are basically onboarding real world companies such as F1 into blockchain. So if Sphere is going to be partnering with them, it sounds great. And then if we talk about the long-term vision of Sphere, of course, they are building more and more revenue streams. They're trying to buy back as much Sphere as possible, burn it, deflate the supply, and basically just have governance over other protocols and continue building the Sphere ecosystem. Now, that was basically what was talked about in the AMA. We just went over so many things, but there's even more to it because Dystopia just released this today. They're saying that Lido is joining the dystopian ecosystem, and they're actually becoming a briber. So they are going to be bribing users for this pool, which is the ST-Matic and USD Plus, as well as the ST-Matic and Matic pools on Dystopia. They're starting this week with 20k in Matic in bribes. If you have no idea what that means, it's basically if you go on to Dystopia and you type in this liquidity pool, so ST-Matic and Wrapped Matic, as well as the one below. Basically, what's happening here is that Lido has provided about 20k in Matic for bribes. As we can see here, we have 10k here and 10k there. That means that if you are providing liquidity to this pool or this pool, you are also going to be receiving a portion of these bribes, which is also incentivizing users to come in and obviously stake their liquidity under these pools. So that's great news to see that Lido is actually joining Dystopia and providing some bribes to help this ecosystem and to help their own liquidity pools by providing 20k in bribes in Matic. So that's awesome to hear. And to top it all off, we have 50 million Sphere tokens that were burnt. That is absolutely insane. If we take a look at how much Sphere has been burnt, we're up to about 700 million. We have a circulating supply of about 8.27 billion, which means that almost 10% of the entire supply of Sphere has been burnt, which is awesome to see. But all of that being said, those are your updates for Sphere. I mean, I am super excited to continue hearing about this ecosystem. They keep building and they keep delivering on their promises. They always have something new to share with us, and that is your update for today. If you guys enjoyed, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.